So this is from Sephora. This is the Sun Safety Kit. I think they come out with a kit every year. This is the first time I've actually purchased one of these though. It was only $30 and it's supposed to have $193.16 of goodies in there. I'm surprised how they come up with the 16 cents. But it does have a ton of really nice deluxe size samples. And then I just want to show you the case itself is actually pretty huge. It's like a real train case. It's kind of like 5 by 7 kind of top. I take that back. It's even bigger than that. I think it's more like 4 by 8. And it has, you know, it's a clear case and it's pretty big. This is like real metal. So if you can pick it up in Sephora itself, that's where I ended up having to get it. I was looking at it online and didn't end up purchasing it in time, so it was sold out, but I just called my local Sephora and they still had a ton of them in stock. So I would try that out. It comes with this little pamphlet here and it tells you a little bit about how they teamed up with the skin cancer prevention. So this is what it looks like when it's empty, and so it's just this really nice kind of clear plastic case. Now plastic I say because it's like not plastic but like plexiglass kind of thing. It's actually pretty sturdy. And then this is all like real kind of metal. I'm sorry, that probably is so loud on the camera to be tapping on it. But just to kind of show you that it is like a pretty good size train case. And it is pretty hefty. Has a nice handle. You know, the corners are kind of reinforced. Has this nice hinge top. So all in all, it's actually a really good deal just to get the train case for free too. Because I can definitely put a ton of stuff in here. So that's the empty train case. And these are all the goodies that came in it. There is a ton of stuff in here. And I think really with how deluxe size these goodies are and the size of the train case itself, it is a really good deal for $30. Especially because a lot of the brands in here are like really great brands, really good sizes to kind of try out and everything. So I'm going to start with some of the stuff that I'm more familiar with, which is one of the reasons I got it, because they are nice travel size and I do own some of these things already in the full size. So first off, like this is the Origins Vitazing. It's an SPF 15. It has this mangosteen thing in it. It's supposed to be like an energy booster, but really it's a tinted moisturizer and it has an SPF of 15. So I have a larger size of this and I do really like what comes in it. It's kind of what it looks like. It's a little bit weird at first because it has all these little beads in it. I don't know if it's really showing up on camera. Itself, it's like a white kind of lotion. Goes on like a lotion, like a tinted moisturizer. And then you rub it in and it kind of oxidizes and settles into the color of your skin tone. And so it does give you a little bit of concealment. It does tint, I mean it does have a tint to it. I don't know if you can see how it's starting to turn like a tinted color. So it should like match your skin tone pretty nicely. I think it's supposed to kind of go with your skin tone. There's only one shade. So it does give you some coverage. I mean, you can kind of see how this part of my hand is a little bit more, I don't know, it just has like something on it, where this part of my hand doesn't. But it's not a ton of coverage. I would call it very much a sheer coverage. And if you have perfect skin, then this is perfect for you. But if you have some hyperpigmentation areas like I do, I totally like to wear this when I go out jogging outside, or if I'm just going to run some errands on the weekends and I don't feel like putting on a ton of makeup, then this is actually really great because it's a one-stop go. It's your tinted moisturizer plus SPF 15, and it does have some coverage, and then you just spot do like concealer on anything else that you want to cover up, and it's actually really good on the go in that sense. So a nice kind of trial version or travel size is really great. One thing about the Origins products, they're supposed to be more natural and kind of a really good brand and everything, but I will say I'm very surprised if you ever go into an Origins store, which I highly recommend you doing, if you're interested in some of their products. Each product and each product line has a very distinct smell to it. Like this has a decent kind of a smell, and it's not perfume and it's not floral or anything, but they all kind of have a smell to them, and it kind of goes within whatever line it is. Like the Brighter by Nature stuff has kind of a citrusy smell, and the Dr. Wheel stuff has kind of a mushroom kind of smell. So it's just a little bit different because it has kind of a stronger smell than other all-natural brands, which makes me think it's more of like they put a perfume in it. But it's just something to think of when you're checking out the Origins products. I like Origins, I have a ton of their stuff, but it's definitely they have smells to them. Another great product that I love is this is the Basha Oil-Free Daily Hydration SPF 15 Moisturizer. This is my favorite moisturizer, and Basha, I really have been liking their skincare line. They make a Vital Daily SPF 15 moisturizer too. I like that one for right now for winter and kind of dry season, and this one is great for summer and if you're more kind of oil prone. It's a really light moisturizer, and I think that's what's really nice about it is it has SPF in it, but you don't feel that greasy SPF feel, and it's not white casted, it's not heavy at all. It's very light, very sheer, except for still really moisturizing, and so it's just a really nice moisturizer. The oil-free one is amazing for summer, and I'm going to start breaking mine out. But for winter, the Vital Daily is a little bit more rich, so it's better for kind of drier skin in wintertime. Another great moisturizer that comes in here, this is the Murad Oil Control Mattifier SPF 15. Now, if you were to kind of put these in a continuum, I would say the Vital Daily is more moisturizing than the Oil Free, and then the Oil Control by Murad. This one is not very moisturizing, but it definitely controls oil. So if you have really greasy skin, or if you know you're going to be outside kind of thing, then I highly recommend this one. It's a little bit creamier texture than the Basha one. It's not all natural, it's not an all natural brand. So it does have a little bit of a thicker feel to it, which I don't love. But at the same time, it is super mattifying. So once it's all done and everything, you won't have any kind of cast to it or sheen. And it really does control your moisture, your kind of oil for the day. So this is a really great one, except for sometimes it's a little bit too drying out for me. But for people who have really oily skin or like an oily T-zone, this would be really good. Next up here is a Smashbox, and this is a kind of facial primer. This is their Photo Finish SPF 15 facial primer, and this one has, I don't know if you can read that fine print, but it's called Dermaxil Complex. It's like this really neat silicone-based complex, but if you don't like silicone, then I don't recommend it, and it does kind of have this weird texture to it. So I'm just going to put a little bit on the back of my hand. I don't know if you can see it, but it's kind of like this jelly kind of texture, and it goes on really smooth, and a little bit goes a really long way. I mean, that little ball, you can definitely still feel it kind of going along my whole back of my hand here. And it has this really smooth kind of like silicone jelly feel to it. And it's a really great primer. And for a long time I used to use this because it had the SPF 15. But I think if you have oily skin, or if you, because I use BB creams now, if you use a BB cream that already has SPF in it too, then this is a little bit too much. I think it's a little bit too thick of a layer. Even though it goes on really smooth and it feels so soft, it makes your skin feel really soft. Kind of after a couple of hours, it makes my face kind of feel a little bit congested. So I think this is something really good to kind of use on its own and then put just a regular foundation over top. But if you already use a moisturizer with SPF and some kind of foundation with SPF, and then you put this in between the two layers, I think it's just a little bit too much for my skin anyways. Another SPF 15 product is this one by Sephora. This is the Age Defy Moisture Cream SPF 15. I don't really own any of the Sephora line products, so I can't speak a whole lot about this. I will go ahead and just swatch it for you so you can see what it looks like. It is a little bit more white. I think it just kind of shows the quality then. It does have a little bit of a white cast to it because of the SPF in it. It is kind of blending though. You can get rid of that white cast. It feels pretty silky. It's not too greasy. It does have a smell to it though. It does kind of have a perfumey sunscreen smell to it that I am not a big fan of. Where the other products that I have talked about so far really don't have a smell, except for the Origins, because I think they purposely put like a different smell into everything. So I would say that this is probably one of my least favorite products in the SPF 15 line out of this sun safety kit. But it's not to say it's not a bad sunscreen, and it's a really cute size. I mean, it is a really nice deluxe size sample. It still has an SPF 15 in it, and I think, you know, you could easily gift it or just kind of use it in your purse in a pinch. But it's not something that I would buy the full size of. So now onto the SPF 30 products. This one is by Philosophy. This is Philosophy's Hope. I think they call it Hope in a Tube when it comes in this format, or Hope in a Jar. It's oil-free, SPF 30. It's supposed to be a daily moisturizer for normal to oily skin. My mom loves Philosophy products. I am not as big of a fan. I think mostly because I found other products that I just really love, other brands. So that's what it looks like. Now this is SPF 30, and I think all of these products from here on out will be a little bit thicker, have a little bit more white cast to them because it is a stronger SPF. This is blending out though so that you don't see it. Doesn't feel super greasy, has a moisturizing quality to it. But yeah, doesn't really have a smell to it. The Philosophy products, all the Hope products, I can't describe it. It just kind of almost smells like cold cream, really, actually. All their kind of Hope products to me kind of smell like cold cream. My mom has a ton of them, so I'll probably give this to her. But it's just I have other products that I really like, but it's not to say that it's not a bad product by any means. Another SPF 30 product, this is Supergoop. And I've always been amazed by this product line. I don't really own anything by it, but it comes in these like giant goop dispensers, like huge dispensers of this stuff. So I really kind of want to know if people love this stuff. This is supposed to be for face and body. I'm not a big fan that it doesn't have the discrepancy because I feel like it's going to be on the thicker side. But this is really great kind of small travel size, especially if you're just going somewhere for the weekend and you want something a little bit stronger in the SPF 30 line. I think this would be great. And you are supposed to be able to use it anywhere. So it's a body kind of face and body lotion. Oh, it actually blended in pretty easily, which I was surprised. I thought it would be a little bit more white cast. I think it does have a little bit more of a greasy feel than some of the other products that are in here. And it does have a hint of that kind of sunscreen smell, not nearly as strong as the Sephora one, but just ever so slightly kind of makes you smell like sunscreen, but not bad. A little bit greasier than the other products, but not as strong of a smell. So I think just a really good SPF 30 kind of thing to throw in your bag. I mean, if anything, to use it for the back of your hands and stuff. So that's great. And lastly, for the SPF 30 products, this is by Peter Thomas Roth. This is the Max Sheer All Day Moisture Defense Lotion. Oil-free, anti-aging, lasting hydration, sorry. full of vitamins, fragrance free. So this is interesting kind of dispenser. It comes in this really different kind of packaging. There we go. Oop, I pumped a little too much. But that's what it looks like. And this is supposed to be for face, I believe, as well. But the amount that comes out of that pump, I mean, this is like a lot. So not very good control over that. And you could easily like kind of use this for your body. Has a little bit more of a white cast to it. And I don't know if it's because I accidentally got so much product out, but I feel like it's making the back of my hand just a little bit more white kind of look to it. Definitely has that kind of sunscreen smell to it, and definitely kind of greasy, even though it's supposed to be oil-free. I think because of the size of this and everything, I would use this as kind of a travel body. And I mean, it won't cover a whole lot of your body. I think you'll easily go through it, but kind of for like your shoulders and stuff. But it does have a greasy kind of feel. You can see how it leaves my skin kind of shiny looking, even though it's supposed to be oil-free. No, so I'm not a big fan of this one either. Haven't really tried a whole lot of his line. This is the Shiseido Urban Environment Oil-Free UV Protector for Face. And this has an SPF of 42, PA triple plus. In Asian countries, they just use PA as their marker of kind of the sun protection instead of SPF, that's all. And whoa, that's the texture of it. It's liquid. It's really kind of runny. It's kind of this just runny liquid, and you can hear it. It's really kind of watery. It is supposed to be water resistant, and it's supposed to be oil free, but I'm getting kind of a greasy feel out of that. It's supposed to be for face and SPF 40, but I don't know, that feels a little bit on the greasy side. Now the other thing is, I don't know, as we go up in the SPF line though, it might become kind of, you can't avoid that. But kind of a really different texture. I think a little bit of that will go a very long way because it's so liquidy. So that was the Urban Environment one. They also included another Shiseido product. We're going a little bit out of order here, but just to show the two Shiseido products back to back. This one is an SPF of 60, and this is for face or body. It's supposed to also be water resistant. The Shiseido products are kind of well known, I feel like, for being their SPF. This one's also on the liquidy side, and it is kind of got a greasy feel to it, but I'm really surprised how liquidy they are. I'm not sure if I'm supposed to shake it or something. No, but I think it's still going to be pretty liquid form. Yeah. So these are super runny, kind of liquid, both of the Shiseido products. See that? But then again, it's kind of good because then it'll go on. It'll kind of cover your whole body really easily. And Shiseido, I don't know. I feel like that's one of the few brands that I do know has been a part of kind of the huge like SPF skincare part for a long time. And so it's one of the things where, like, if I was looking for something with a high SPF, I would go with a Shiseido product. This has an SPF of 60. I think as you go up in the SPFs, though, you are kind of risking getting that greasy kind of feel. But at the same time, both of the Shiseido products have a little bit more of a floral kind of perfume scent to them. I think that masks any of that sunscreen smell. But they are kind of on the greasy side, and they're very liquidy, both of those. So both of these were kind of liquidy, both of the Shiseido products, but I want to say that these are both kind of just sunscreens. Like this one might be touted as a like moisturizer with sunscreen, but they're really more like this is just sunscreen, and that's what there is supposed to be. Where I think, you know, this one and like this one, these are supposed to be moisturizers with SPF in them. So I think that explains why these are more greasy and less kind of wonderful for your skin, because they do what they're supposed to. They're just supposed to be really good sunscreens. Same thing now with this one. This is Ole Henriksen's Protect the Truth SPF 50. This is just supposed to be a sunscreen. I don't think it's supposed to be like a moisturizer with SPF. This is what the product looks like. A little bit whiter and creamier than definitely than the Shiseido ones. Blends in pretty well though. And the entire Protect the Truth line by Ole Henriksen has this really nice kind of orangey, tangerine smell to it. I don't really smell it when I put the product on my face, as in like if it's on my nose, I don't think I'll smell it all day. But when you first put it on, like you definitely smell this nice kind of tangerine-y, orangey flavor. This one's actually pretty good. It's not as greasy as some of the other ones. So that's actually really nice. Ole Henriksen is a nice all-natural line too. So this is a really nice kind of sunscreen. Let's see here. Now that we're done with the sunscreens, this one is a sunless tanner. And this is a huge amount of product, which is actually really nice. 2.5 fluid ounces, because it's supposed to be for your whole body. And I've never really used self tanners, so I cannot speak a whole lot about them. But I just wanted to show off the product a little bit for you so you can see what it looks like. So this is kind of what it looks like. Has a little bit of a kind of a gel quality. And has a kind of a perfumey smell to it. I don't know if you've ever used Eucerin cream. It kind of smells like Eucerin cream. But definitely went on really smooth. I think that jelly quality kind of helps it, you know, blend really nice. Don't see a huge difference between my two hands here. But, so that's a little bit about the product. And it has this really interesting line here, but this Aroma Guard fragrance technology, it's supposed to virtually eliminate the telltale sign of like self-tan aroma, which I didn't know. I don't use tanner, so I don't really know anything about these things, but it does give you a good amount of information on the back. And I believe, so you're just supposed to kind of use this daily and it will gradually end up giving you a little bit of a tan. I don't think it did a whole lot for me right now. So I guess, you know, maybe, can't tell if it's the lighting, but this hand does look a little bit darker already than this hand. So it's interesting. I might have to use this for my legs. I feel like my legs never really get very tan. And now we have some more makeup products, and this one is a BB cream, and I was really happily surprised they put this in there. This is by Dr. Jart, and it's a Korean cosmetic line actually. He's known for having really good BB creams in Korea. This one, I think it's called the Gold line. There's two of them on Sephora. One comes in a turquoise tube and one comes in this gold tube. It just has a higher SPF, so this one is an SPF 45 PA+++. And so BB creams, I'm sure you've heard other people talk about them, but they're what I use. They have a little bit of blemish balm to kind of prevent acne. They're kind of like a tinted moisturizer, but they have much better coverage than a tinted moisturizer. But they still supposed to look really natural and kind of flawless, so that they're not as heavy as a foundation. And I use this one. I actually have another travel one from last year, and so that's what I do, is I use it when I travel. It's really nice. A little bit goes a long way. And I don't know if you can kind of see here, but my blue veins on this side are a little bit more pronounced than they are on this side. So you still, if you had freckles, you could still see your freckles kind of come through, but it just gives you a more of a flawless kind of finish. so that you look like you have a nice clean complexion but not so done up as you do with foundation. I love BB creams, and Dr. Jart is not my favorite. I have other ones that I like, but it's still a really nice BB cream, and I totally love this travel size. So this is a great way to try it if you are interested in this. They do have a little bit of a kind of a gray cast to them, and Dr. Jart specifically is a Korean one, so it is supposed to be kind of more on the lighter side, and there's only ever one color. I think the US brands are starting to come out with BB creams now, but a lot of the beauty bloggers that, you know, when you read about them trying them, they're really more like glorified tinted moisturizers, and they're not as good as the original Asian ones. So if you're really interested in them, I think you should try an Asian brand. But if you don't care, I think like Garnier makes one now, like Basha came out with one. So a bunch of different US lines have come out with one because it's kind of been a big thing in the beauty world. But I stick true to my Asian BB creams because I think that they are better. So sorry that took so long to explain that one, but it's a little bit about this BB cream, and I do really like this and I travel with it, but I think if you are darker skin tone, then this is gonna have a little bit of a gray-white cast for you. So if you are on the more tan side, what I would recommend, and this is actually a freebie from last year, and this stuff will last you a very, very long time. This is by Dr. Brandt. This is the Pores No More Pore Refiner, and this is Hint of Tint. I got this as a sample and then ended up getting another sample of it, and it lasted all summer for me. So this is what it looks like. Okay. And it's kind of like a primer kind of thing, but it's so dark. It's so dark on its own. There's no way I would ever be able to wear this, and even when I get tan, it has a little bit too much of a kind of brown tint to it that it's just too dark for me. So what I do is I take my BB cream and I mix it with like a drop of this. I mean, you don't need a whole lot. And when you mix the two together, it helps get rid of that gray-white cast to it. And then it really, when I get tan, this is what I do. And you can really kind of control then. So if you get darker, you just use more. You know, if you're lighter, you don't use any. So this is just a suggestion that I have, like if you find that this is too light for you, this is a really great way to kind of still be able to use it. So it gives you kind of the best of both worlds. So that's what I would recommend if you end up with a BB cream and you like it, but it's too light. I would try getting this then. Or something similar, just do something similar. And just mix the two, and then it'll give you a really nice, like much darker kind of look. So another thing I was super excited they had included was the Fresh Sugar Lip Treatment. I actually don't have this one. This is just the original one. It's an SPF 15. This is the mini size. That's the product fully extended. And somebody put a comment on one of my other Fresh videos about the scent of it, and I thought that's a perfect description. So I have to put in the caption to credit her. But she said it smelled like lemon meringue, the meringue part of the lemon meringue pie, and I think that is the perfect description for the sugar line. It has a very sweet kind of scent to it with a little hint of lemon. So I really love these chapsticks. So this is the mini one, and just to kind of show you, this is a full-size one, the difference. But still, it's a lot of product, and it's a decent amount. And still just so cute, such a cute little size. Like kind of perfect for a little clutch. So that's the mini sugar that was included in the sun safety kit. Getting to the end here. The other thing I was super excited they included was a Bare Minerals Mineral Veil, and this is a really nice size of it. I mean, that's a really nice kind of size product. It's not one of those really tiny little things. I already own this. And it also came with a brush. I thought that is just so amazing that they could include all this stuff in this kit. So it is a very tiny brush. I mean, not a big brush, but it's so small. Like, what a great idea to even be able to include one. So it kind of gives you how soft the bristles are, which I do like. Bare Minerals makes really nice soft brushes in kind of really nice sizes. So this is a really nice size, and so with the Bare Minerals kind of tradition, is this is what I do. I turn it upside down and I tap it, and then that gives you, you know, some product in the lid or in the thing, and you're supposed to kind of just dip it, swirl. I think they call it tap tap swirl or something, or swirl tap tap. Then you tap off the excess. I think you can see the cloud, and then you kind of brush it on. And Mineral Veil is kind of like a setting powder, and just kind of gives you this really nice kind of soft glow that just finishes off your makeup. So I don't use it all over my face, I just kind of use it on my T-zone to kind of clean up any excess oil. But it's a very light color, and just kind of a last step to your regimen. And this one has an SPF of 25 in it. So this is also really good to kind of do touch-up. So, you know, if it's midday and you don't want to redo all your makeup, you can just tap tap swirl some of this, put it all over your face, and it kind of retouches up your SPF for you. So I really like this product, and my mom totally loves this stuff. So I'm really excited that they included that. Last two things here. This is a Kate Somerville 360 degrees face self-tanning pad. I don't really use self-tanners, like I said, so I cannot tell you anything about this. I don't really want to open it because I think once I open it, it's done for. But it is a really nice thing that was included. And then also a tan towel, and this is for full body application. Again, I'm not going to open this because then I think it's used once you open it. But I don't use self-tanners, so I have no idea what's a good one and what's a bad one, but I think both of these products are supposed to be really popular on the Sephora website. So I think it's great that they were included in this whole sun safety kit. So again, this was everything that got included. I think these are really amazing little deluxe size samples. Some of the products I can speak for and I really enjoy. Other products I can't speak for, and other products I don't think I'll enjoy. Has actually a decent amount of all natural products, and then some other products that obviously are not all natural. But I was really pleasantly surprised that they included it. My big favorites that I was excited about was that they put one of these in here. They put the BB cream in here. They put my favorite Boscia cream in here with SPF, and they put the Bare Mineral stuff in here. The other stuff was just really nice extra bonuses, but I really love those products, so I was excited that they were in travel sizes. Sorry, this video is a little bit longer than what I usually do, but I just wanted to go through each product in case you were kind of on the fence about it. And if it's still sold out online when I post this video, I highly recommend you calling your local Sephora, because mine had a bunch of them. So I was able to pick up one for myself and one for my mom, and it's going to make a really nice little Mother's Day gift with some other things.